So we were meeting someone for dinner on Friday night, and it's someone that we get together with once a month. And I walked in and she said, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm great." I said, "And if I'm not, I change it."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yes."
Yes. And so she felt that energy.
Yeah.
You know, instead of walking in and saying, "Oh, I need a drink," or, I'm so stressed out.
Yeah.
No, you walk in with a positive, uplifting energy because you're going to feel good. And the person that you're talking to is going to feel great too.
Hi, my name is Deborah.
And I'm Deanna.
And today we are here to inspire and motivate you to change your thoughts to create the life that you want. We are exiting the old paradigm of control and domination, and we're doing this in each moment and even live on this program. So get ready. We're so excited to be here and to share all of our experiences with you and how we're shifting moment by moment.
Yes. And we've had several people tell us this week that they're moving in a new direction because of listening to this podcast. Because what we do is we take all the information that we get from our over 30 years of being on this path of aligning with the truth and with that is in our heart. And we're allowing ourselves to be guided by our hearts and no longer by our ego. And you're going to see it in real time. And we're really excited to share everything that we have to share in order for you to take control of your life and live the life that you have dreamed of.
And so we're going to do that in two parts. So we're starting with part one.
Yes.
And I want to go back to our last podcast and how we showed in real time, how we worked through some old emotions.
Yes.
And reactions.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And
I'm finding that I'm no longer reacting. And if I do, that I take responsibility for it. And that I do a take two. We did a take two last time, and you saw it in real time, how we completely shifted the feeling, which is the frequency, the energy, into more heart-centered, into love and compassion for ourselves and love and compassion for the person that you're in conversation with Deborah. Because I do totally feel so much love for Deborah, and my practice is feeling that way towards every sentient being, feeling the love, feeling the unity, and feeling the compassion, and that we are in this together.
Yeah, and we're doing it, moment by moment. And so we're fortunate that we have each other. And we're also here for you. So when Deanna just talked about people who are taking the ideas about changing their thoughts, and they're actually creating their new identities.
Yeah.
And so what did we were talking before when we were grounding, before we even came on the podcast, about how we are embodying the new identity.
Yeah.
So, how does that, okay, so I guess, what is it like in the past week, since our last podcast or the past 2 weeks? Can we talk about some specific examples?
So what I want to say is that when you start shifting your thoughts, becoming aware of your thoughts and changing your thoughts, if they're not a good feeling, when you start shifting your thoughts and you articulate something, whatever it is, that feels good to you, and it's like it is moment by moment. And so what was your question?
So what are specific examples? So the last time you came out of the victim mode, just as we were in our podcast, and I talked about how I had been in the victim mode when things, started breaking down in my house, and I wasn't feeling like I had the power to take care of it because everything happened at one time. So what we're doing, and all of the energies of the planet and the sun that are coming into the earth are helping us. They're here to help us.
Well, they're they're propelling us.
Yes.
I was going to say pushing, and I changed that in the moment to propelling.
Okay, so I have a good example
Great.
of how I changed in the moment. So I was meeting someone for a specific time that we had agreed on, and I realized because I wasn't in linear time and that I was in the flow, that I was going to be there 5 minutes after the time that we had decided upon, right? So I was texting her, and my first thought that came through was to say, I'm running late. And then I changed it and messaged to her that I would be there at 5 minutes after the time. And her response to me, so I was really I felt so good about how I changed it in the moment. So just, if you can, close your eyes and think about that when you say you're running late. Okay,
how does that feel?
Yeah, how does it feel in your body? And it for me, it felt tense. It felt constricted. It felt, almost like shameful or guilty, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I changed it in the moment, and I pushed send on that text, I felt so good. And so then when I met with her, and she said that she was able to do something else in those few minutes that she was waiting for me. And that's what always happens.
Yes.
It happens. So if I had said I'm running late, that I would have been pushing, some more negative energy toward her, because that was the negative energy that I was feeling at first. Right?
Yes.
And so then when I shifted it in the moment and told her that I would be there at the certain time, I felt empowered.
Yes.
I felt like there was no shame or guilt or, any of those old emotions that
was the consciousness of humanity.
Yeah.
So it's shifting. So the masculine energy of power over, control, domination. What are some of those other adjectives that we had?
That's good right there. That's how it feels. Yeah,
and fear, and like, oh my gosh, is this person going to like me if I'm going to be 5 minutes beyond the time that we had planned? No, they're going to feel respected, because that's the energy that you're giving out. It's the energy. And people are realizing that it's not just our thoughts, it's not the words, it's the frequency, it's the energy. And what's so great about this male domination, male energy, and I'm not talking about men or women. When we say masculine or feminine, we both have both.
Yes, we all have those frequencies in us.
Right? Yeah. And so it's what we're aligning with.
Yes.
And
that's the choice right there, is that you decide what you want to align with. So when I sent that text, it was out of respect to her, right? So she feels the respect.
Yes.
Okay, so instead of getting in your mind like you're in traffic, or you're, like you lost track of linear time, and you're just notifying that person that I respect you, and I'm going to let you know that this is when I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Not, I'm running late, I'm so sorry. Like that doesn't feel good. And so, our bodies are our barometers. So if you think that thought and it doesn't feel good, don't put it out there.
Change it.
Yes, change it.
Change it. Stop it and change it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. And so, interestingly, we were meeting someone for dinner on Friday night, and it's someone that we get together with once a month. And I walked in, and she said, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm great." I said, "And if I'm not, I change it."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yes."
Yes. Yes. And so she felt that energy.
Yeah.
Instead of walking in and saying, "Oh, I need a drink," or, I'm so stressed out.
Yeah.
No, you walk in with a positive, uplifting energy, because you're going to feel good, and the person that you're talking to is going to feel great too.
And so that is how we raise the vibe.
Yes.
And a vibe is a frequency. And so we may be saying words that are new in your vocabulary, so just take a little piece of that and change one little response or reaction that you have. And each time you do that, it becomes more natural. And that's that's how we reprogram those old patterned, conditioned thoughts that we have.
That became beliefs.
Yeah. And it's been thousands of years that we've been in that energy.
Yes.
And so some people talk about the Aquarian energy. And I remember being like in my 20s and hearing about the age of Aquarius, the age. And so I was looking forward to that, when I was in my 20s. I
think it was in the 70s.
Yes.
So we
70s or 80s.
In our 20s.
Oh, okay. 70s. That's right, because that song came out then.
Yes.
Yeah. Age of Aquarius.
Yes, and we're in it. And it's so exciting because we're at a great time. It's not only are we being supported by each other, but we're also being supported by the energies that are coming in from the sun and the planetary alignments. And we're going to share 2 links because we're going to talk more about Alexander Quinn and Stefan Burns, who just, when we heard their podcast yesterday, it validated everything that we had been talking about.
Not only that we've been talking about, but the people in our lives that are coming into our lives or we're meeting with that are saying that they're changing something big in their lives.
Yeah, big.
And so
career change.
So the confirmation from Alexander and Stefan were, when they were talking about, one's talking about an Arcturian message because he channels a galactic energy, and that may be new and sound woo-woo to you, but it's not at all. So we got that confirmation. And so one of the things we want to talk about is how there are 2 women in our lives that we saw over the weekend. And one of them, and it's interesting because both of them decided that the lives they had been living in their professional life they could no longer live in it, so, and it wasn't like in a negative way, because they felt like, okay, this is over.
Yes.
It's not okay
they felt
anymore.
The end. Yes.
Yeah.
They felt that it was ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so one of them was leaving a professional career, we'll say gardening. And the men that she was working for and with were being passive aggressive, making passive aggressive comments about her lifestyle or something. And, it was her lifestyle. And
it wasn't respectful.
No, not at all.
Or loving. Or kind.
No.
And so we're saying, I don't want to be in relationship with anyone that's not respectful, loving, and kind.
And so that's what's being supported by the energy. So there's a lot of solar activity. The sun is it's like just going through all of these changes and directing solar flares, coronal mass ejections,
CMEs.
CMEs, and toward the earth. And so it's not just this collective. So we get to choose, because if you're looking at mainstream makes it look polarized. It makes it look chaotic. It makes everything look chaotic. And so what we're asking you to do is detach from those negative vibes.
And if you can't, you have to.
No. What do you mean if you can't? Like if there's someone in your house?
So if you can't detach emotionally, don't view it. Don't watch it.
And if you do happen to catch it, maybe there's someone else that lives in your house that is still attached to that. If you do hear it, don't repeat it.
Yes.
And so that's a choice that you have, is not repeating what's going on out in in the mainstream.
Yeah. And and what I'm realizing is that there have been times in the past week that I have caught myself. I'll have a thought and I'll want to articulate it, but it's not proactive. It's not uplifting. It's like, I don't know, like, it's
if
like,
you can give it an example, just do an example.
Oh my gosh, an example of that. Like my husband does something. So he does. So we have this wonderful door stopper for when we put the screens up so the windows don't blow closed. And so it's near the back door. It's in the path.
So the doors don't.
So the doors don't close when it's windy. So it's a door stopper, and it's a big wooden block with a handle on it. It's beautiful. And he will move it, and it'll be right in the path to the bathroom. And so sometimes during the night, I might get up and use that bathroom, and it's dark out, and I have stumbled upon it. So the other day he had done it again, and I just turned to him, and my first thought was like, oh, he did it again. Like, and instead of saying, instead of saying something derogatory towards him, I said, we have to remember to put this block over here where it's not in the path. And he received that.
Yes.
He received it, and he's like, yes, I have to remember, because I often do that. So he not only received it, he took responsibility. So I know he will never put it there again.
I know,
but the energy.
And if you had been in your old identity, and you, like, with your words, attacked and said, something like,
I've told you.
I know. I've told you, blah, 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 like going into
that doesn't feel good.
No. And he wouldn't have received it the same way.
Correct.
And so not only are we not allowing other people to treat us that way, or being in relationship with people that are treating us that way, even after we've said that doesn't feel good, please don't do that, and they still do it, but we are taking what we've done. So that's taking responsibility of how we were in the past, being raised in that old consciousness of blaming, criticism, passive aggressive. Yes.
Yeah. Negative.
Yeah. Or just thinking, oh my gosh, I've told him 100 times not to do this.
Yes,
and
that wouldn't feel good to me.
Yeah. And
no.
So
being in the moment and being in your heart. And I love my husband. I love him dearly. And it's there. And so I don't want to mistreat him.
Well, it's because you're exiting that program.
Yes.
And you're creating the new neural pathways. And the way to do that is we always talk about this, to be aware. Okay. Yes. Be aware of your thoughts. And in the moment, that's not an easy thing to do. Because it's a program that you just keep running over and over and over again. And you've done it for decades, depending on how long you were alive. So you're doing that. And so to change it, being aware of it, and before it comes out of your mouth, that you change it, and really think about it, and don't react in the moment. And if you don't know what to say, ask.
Ask yourself, put the question out there.
So that is where the energies are supporting us in knowing that all of the answers are within us. And we talk about that, and so how, for someone who has never done that, has no idea how to do it, how to change their thoughts in the moment or change their words in the moment, what's the best thing for them to do?
Pause.
It's just pause. That's what we're doing right now.
And the other thing that's supporting us is that we are becoming more intuitive.
Yes.
So we are, when you are, set your intention that you're going to come from your heart, then the words just come. How can I say this in a positive, uplifting way? How can I change this so that it feels good?
Yes. So I was having this issue this morning where I didn't feel that great when I woke up. And so I was having the conversation, and actually I messaged you to call me, and then it wasn't the right time for us to talk. So, I told Deanna, let's talk in an hour. Okay. So I had to do the work, but I was able to bounce it off of my daughter. And so I said, that I just didn't feel that great this morning. And she said, well, what were you looking at before you went to sleep last night? Because we had seen each other, before I went to sleep. And she knew that I was on my phone looking at something, right? I said, oh, I was looking at emails. And even when I was doing it, because it was, just that programmed, conditioned action. And it's not like I do that all the time, because I have been pulling myself away from that identity and creating new habits. So that's another way of reprogramming your mind, is you're creating new habits. But it's like 10 steps forward, and 3 steps back. So I was in the 3 steps back, right? And as I was doing it, I was like, I shouldn't be doing this, but I had been so busy all day. I hadn't even looked at my emails when I finally got in my room by myself, and I'm looking at my emails and I'm thinking, this is what I need to do. Right. And so I said,
well, that was your ego telling you.
Yeah. And so that the ego was in the driver's seat last night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then I was on my walk and I was listening to Alexander, and then another video popped up, and it was another woman who's a coach, and she's in Europe, and she talked about her morning and her evening routine. So it's really, really, really essential what we do for the last 15 minutes that we're awake during the day, and being very intentional. So I'll be changing that tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And I've had the goal of getting, being with myself for an hour before I go to sleep. So what am I going to do tonight? I'm going to journal, because what I've been having difficulty with is getting into the feeling of the life that I want and the new identity. Okay, so
before you go any further,
yeah,
why have you had a hard time getting into the feeling? And it's because you're too busy.
Oh, that's the big one.
Huge. It's a huge theme. So
we've been conditioned to think that we always have to be productive. Do.
And we've all heard this before. We're not humans doing, we're humans being. And if you're doing, you're not being.
Right.
So last week I had told Deborah that I was going to be going to the grocery store, and she said, would you do me a favor? I'm going to send you a list. Would you buy my groceries for me? Because I'm in this project and whatever. And I said, absolutely. So I felt really good about doing it for Deborah.
Well, and I almost felt bad asking you.
Ooh,
yeah, because
so she needs to change that.
Yes, because I was like, I can't ask her to get that much for me. If it's one or two things, then fine. But it was a little list.
It was a list.
Yeah. And so that wasn't a good feeling that I had.
No. So I'm really feeling good about doing this for Deborah, because she's helped me out in so many ways, and I would do anything to help her out. But all she has to do is ask.
Yeah. And then surrender
and trust.
Yes. And
so
trust.
I brought the groceries in, and she was like, oh, thank you. And then she's on to the next thing, wants to put the groceries away and everything. And I was like, I mentioned that to you today. I said, we need in that moment, to feel the gratitude.
To pause, yes.
To pause and be like, go close your eyes, go inward and get in, feel what that feels like. That Deanna just helped me out. I don't have to do this and this. I do it all the time. And today I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
And how great that was, how great it was. And to, get into the feeling of how great that is. And then before you go to bed, you want to get in the feeling of gratitude. You just go back to that moment.
Yeah. And so when you brought it up to me this morning, and what I'm getting right now, the message I'm getting right now, is that I can go back in my mind and change it.
Yes.
And that's another technique to use, so that when we are in our old programming, and then it is brought to our attention like that, or it comes into your attention that, you didn't really feel that, Deborah. And so now I can quiet my mind, do my breath work, quiet my mind, go back into that and feel the gratitude. I can do it right now. I can feel the gratitude of the action that Deanna took for me.
And I learned that 30 years ago when I was working with a mentor. And it is reprogramming your logical thought process. So the frontal lobe. So when you replay that, so this is all a movie. Pretend this is all a movie. And it's actually a movie.
The reality.
The reality
that we're living in is the movie.
So go back and do, what would you call it in the movie theater? Take two. Yeah, it's a take two, take three, take four.
Yeah.
And do it a few times so that you, in the future, you'll remember when someone brings you something, and even if you haven't asked for it, you're going to pause and be like, open to receive and feel that gratitude coming from your heart because the other person feels it.
Yeah. And so you're not going to go into, oh, you shouldn't have. Oh, why did you do that? Oh, you didn't have to do that.
No. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
If someone brings me flowers, or if I have, a client that brings me something extra, I'm like, oh, thank you. Instead of, you don't have to. No, you don't have to do that.
Yeah. Or, say your husband or your partner is out, doing something and you ask them to pick something up and then they bring it home and you're like, okay, and you're just like taking it for granted. That those are the little teeny ways that we can change. That's how we change our reality, is that we reprogram. And so when we're talking about reprogram, we're giving real life examples of how we're reprogramming.
And another real life example was on Sunday. We had a small gathering, and the first person that came was talking about her new shift. And she said it was because of listening to one of our podcasts that really made her stop and really think about what was going on. Because since December, she had a new boss. And I just intuitively know that this new boss wanted to bring in his own person to her position.
She said that. Did she say that, or you said that?
He ended up doing that.
I know.
That was the end result.
Yes.
No, I'm saying that. She didn't say that.
Right.
So what he made her do was jump through I don't know how many hoops. And he kept giving her an assignment, and he's like, well, after like the 6th attempt, he's like, well, no, you're here, and I want you here. And that's what she was trying to do. Those 6 attempts, she was putting her all into it. And she's experienced. She's confident in what she does. But it didn't matter
because it's the corporate life.
Yes. Yeah. And it was he's a male.
The dominance, the power over.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna like give you little treats, and then she does her best.
Yes.
It's like if
there was no accolade.
Picture your pet or your dog doing that, they come back to just love me, and she wasn't getting that.
No.
And so
she was like, there's nothing more I can do.
Yeah.
And that's when she surrendered.
Yes.
That's when she surrendered and said, okay, if, universe is telling me that I am not to be doing this right now, what am I to do? She goes, I don't know what I'm going to do right now, but I'm getting hits. I'm getting intuitive hits about what it is that feeds my soul, that really motivates me and uplifts me. And it is like, she's leaving corporate world and going into holistic well-being, nutrition.
And without having any idea of what she's going to do or how she's going to do it.
And you'll know who I'm talking about, and I am getting spirit sparks as I'm saying this. And I know I can speak for Deborah too. We are so happy for you. You're doing it.
Yay. And so this is part 1 of our talk today. And so if you would tune in next week for the part 2, and we'll see you then.
See you then. Thank you
so much.